still entering the large number of comments that came in on our question about the Switch 1 year retrospective. So,
yes,
nice.
We got a ton of feedback, which is good. And just to give you an idea, we've entered all of this into our show notes, including all the email questions we got this week. And it took our normal 3 to 4 pages of notes to 8.
I think the last time I've had show notes this long was note taking from the 45-minute E3 show that started with the puppets.
Oh yeah,
I've had a lot of notes in it.
I miss the puppets. I wish they'd come back.
I think on my Facebook page I use the picture of Iwata's puppet holding the banana.
Yep.
As my banner. And that wasn't meant to be a tribute. I put that up the day after the damn thing aired. Because I've had a long running line of whenever someone did a fruit joke, I'd put it up there. So this is just the next fruit joke. So here we go.
Speaking of bringing things back, I wish they'd bring Iwata back.
Yeah.
Let's make that happen. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way at all. I wish he was around to see the Switch succeed like it is.
Yeah, no kidding.
I really do. I think that's one of the saddest parts of the whole thing.
He'd want a pay raise to make up for the pay cut he took in the start of the 3DS.
He should get one. He should get one. He should get one. So, did anybody buy any new games today? It's eShop day.
I did.
I bought quite a few. I'm a little ashamed of myself.
I bought a normal lost phone.
Oh, how's that?
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't gotten very far into it. I think I'm only got 25 minutes into it so far.
So I had to pull up my my Switch here to see because let's see, 1, 2, 3 games today. But hey, all of it was under $20.
You know, everyone's complaining. Well, I don't know if it's complaining, but just saying, whoa, another 25 games dumped today. Yeah, Marty's the problem.
Yeah, that's why.
He buys them all.
Well, I bought Totes the Goat because I just love Totes the Goat. I'm unashamed in that. And I finally downloaded Pinball FX 3. And I don't know why I hadn't downloaded it before, but I had to buy the Portal table for that. And then
did my video inspire you, or would you have bought it anyway?
No, I guess I'm kind of on a Portal kick from
playing
after Constructor Portal. So
yeah. Is that good?
It's actually really good.
I haven't bought that yet. I'm thinking about it.
Like I didn't really care. I've played. It's on iOS, right? Bridge Constructor, the original.
Maybe.
So I didn't like it. Like I've downloaded something like that, and I didn't really care for it. And but this I like.
See, how similar to it is to something like a World of Goo?
It's pretty similar.
All right, because I didn't like World of Goo.
Well, here's the thing with if it changes later on, I don't know, but there's not a penalty for failing, and there's not a penalty for like being goofy and trying things. You can just blow it up and start over. So, and to me, like I've played World of Goo and I didn't really get into it either, but this, I guess it's the Portal, thing being laid over it. I don't know.
Who was it that didn't play the original Portal games? Was that Justin?
Or
was that you? Someone mentioned it. Someone said that last week.
I really don't know.
What's up, everybody?
How's it going?
Good. I've got s'mores Girl Scout cookies.
I'm proud of you. I drank a cup of coffee with cinnamon roll creamer before I came here, and I drank it in like 5 minutes. So I'm like, right now, I'm like,
You're wired and ready to go for the next.
I'm ready to go.
And the creamer that my wife likes is this. I forget what the name of it. I just know the picture on it. It's basically like ice cream flavored creamer. And she'll her and her daughter will actually add some of that to milk to just give it a little extra flavor.
Oh yeah,
that sounds weird, but okay.
It's totally fine.
I prefer to add chocolate to my milk.
Hey John, I'm envious of your background there. You've got a pretty awesome game room you're sitting in.
Thanks.
We were just talking about how that we are much lesser Ninja fans than John.
It secretly shrinks from time to time. As I get older, I start to see things and I'm like, oh, that's too expensive a game to keep around. Earthbound on 3DS. I'll get rid of the real one.
You got a Power Glove.
Yeah, I used to have 2 Power Gloves, and I was like, all right, I don't think I need 2.
Yeah. Did you used to have the Super Scope?
No. I have the U-Force is pretty cool. I actually got that through somebody from the son of the guy that made it, which I thought was like a really cool story.
Wow.
And I traded like a Mike Tyson's Punch-Out to get it, which was like painful, but I thought it was cool that it had that story. So
isn't that like the best game to play on the U-Force?
I don't know if there is a best game to play.
I was going to say, I've never heard anyone say the U-Force is pretty cool, which just came out of your mouth.
I've never even tried it at this point. It's like almost brand new in the box.
I really love your Zelda shrine back there.
Probably the best way to keep it.
Probably so.
Yeah, I'll just keep it in that box.
It's probably not worth pulling out of the box.
No, I tried playing the Power Glove, and
so I'm trying to figure out back there what's in your Zelda shrine, and I see you've got the 2DS, and I see you've got Skyward Sword. And what is that above Skyward Sword?
I have some keychains above Skyward Sword, and then I have the original NES games, the Link to the Past, and I have the 2 N64 games.
Oh.
And then I actually have the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild sort of there. I didn't open it. I just got it.
So, yeah, that's a pretty killer room.
Do you have a Virtual Boy in there?
I do.
Awesome. That's one thing I wish I had a chance to buy one when they were in stores, but that was when I was like first employed, first on my own, first married, and had no money.
Jesse, I had one when I was a young teenager, and I kick myself every day now for not keeping it around. I probably sold it for pennies at some point. I don't even remember. But
I've got one somewhere, and I can't remember where it is. That's I think even worse.
Speaking of virtual reality, okay, that's the main reason I came here, because I have to tell you guys about this Star Wars thing that I know I mentioned in Discord, but it was like the coolest thing ever, and I know you guys will appreciate it.
I need to hear about this.
So this is really cool. So it's this place called The Void, and I think there's 4 of them around the world. There's one at Disneyland, one at Disney World, and I think there's 2 across the pond in the UK. And I went to the one in Orlando, and it's not at Disney World at any of the parks. It's at Disney Springs. And it's really weird because it's kind of tucked off to the side, and it's just this building that says The Void. And then like there's a small poster on the window for Star Wars. It's really weird that it's like not really promoted, but basically it's like you walk in and you get like a mission briefing. It's $30 to do this, and it's about a 15-minute thing. It's totally worth $30. But you go in, it's all based off Rogue One. So you go in and you basically get like a mission briefing, and they tell you what you're going to do, which is you're a rebel, and you're dressing up as a stormtrooper to go in and infiltrate an Imperial ship and try to find this crate. So you do that, and then you go into another room, and one of the staff members dresses you up. You wear a vest and you wear a VR headset. And there's 3 people in my group. So they take you to the starting area, and it's just like gray walls in front of you. You can kind of imagine like laser tag. like kind of the way the building's set up. There's like partitions and walls, but they're all blank. Well, once you put that VR headset on, like all the people around you who are in your group become stormtroopers, and you are in an Imperial ship.
Oh my god!
And let me tell you, like, so you walk, so you go into the ship, like I don't remember what was the robot's name in Rogue One that was really funny.
K2SO.
K2SO. So K2SO opens the door and he tells you to come in the ship, and this big window opens up while he's talking to you, and you're on the planet that Darth Vader lives on with all the fire and stuff. And as soon as the door opens for you to go outside, you feel like a rush of heat. So it's like a 4D experience too.
Oh, nice.
And let me tell you, like this little platform comes over to like take you to another into this building, and I promise, it feels like if you miss that platform, you're going to fall down in this pit of fire. Like it's that real. But basically, you end up getting a gun, and you're like shooting stormtroopers and stuff. It may be more like augmented reality, but because like you'll see like a switch on the wall, and you'll reach out for it, and you're actually grabbing a switch that's on the wall, and you pull it down, and a door opens.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's even one room where you have to solve a puzzle. There's like a code you have to put in. It's amazing. And at the end of the thing, Darth Vader comes out, and I literally jumped back when Darth Vader came at me with the lightsaber. Like it felt that real. The whole thing was amazing. Like it was just, it's hard to describe, but if you go to Disney World or Disneyland, you have to do it.
I really want to go do this.
Yeah, it was like it really made me feel like, I mean, it made me see what the future with virtual reality really looks like. Because I mean, like it was so incredible.
You mean when developers have a budget?
Pretty much, you know. But I mean, obviously, this is a whole different kind of experience because you know, you're like, they have this big building, and you're actually walking through this area, and I'm pretty sure there's a staff member who's watching you the whole time too. I'm sure it's really funny for them.
It's kind of like, I feel like it's those people who watch you in the escape room games, you know?
Exactly.
And they're like, and they'll say stuff like, stop looking there, idiot. You know,
I mean, dude, yeah, because you're seriously like, I mean, like when I went out onto that platform and it's taking you across this fire, like I'm sitting there looking up and just like doing all that. Like, I mean, it was, and the fact that you actually feel the heat rush, and like when a stormtrooper shoots you, you feel it. I mean, and you see like a spark come up off your vest and stuff. I mean, it was so immersive and just so.
So I want to just, like, at this point now, I want to go to Florida just to go do this and then come home.
Yeah, I like immediately wanted to do it again when I got done. What was really funny is that one of the people in my group, there were 3 other people in my group, and one of them was like an 11-year-old girl, and she was like probably 4 feet tall or something. So when she turned into a stormtrooper, she was that tall, and it was hilarious. Yeah, it was so funny.
Nice,
That's
know. Awesome.
There's a trailer of it online, but the trailer doesn't, like, I mean, no justice.
No, yeah, I mean, why would it do it? Like, exactly. Really? Yeah. You can't. I mean, like, you can't get the full experience.
Exactly. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So it was, if you go down there, and I know some guys in the chat were talking about going to Disney World, you definitely have to do it. So it's totally worth it.
So I want to publicly say this while we've got Zach here about,
I already know where this is going. I know exactly where this is going.
How we totally in the chat ignored his recommendation for the Mummy Demastered. And how it has been one of the best experiences I've had with my Switch.
Most underrated Switch game.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I wish my only regret, well, my 2 regrets. One of them is that it took me so long to get around to it, but now I fixed that. My only other regret is that I didn't get it when it was on sale for $15 instead of $20. It's definitely a $20 game, but the fact that I could have got it cheaper is much better.
Yeah.
But seriously,
when you downloaded it, was the patch out yet? Because they just put a patch out a few days ago.
The patch had just come out.
Okay. So that might kind of explain, like, because I looked at your game and I was like, man, you died way less than me and you played way less. I think the patch actually made the bosses and some of the levels easier.
I read some patch notes and it said that they actually rebalanced some of the some of the like boss fights and something about soldiers dropping health and different things, like I guess like the undead. Because here's the thing, for those of you who haven't played it, if you die, you have to go find yourself and kill your undead self to get all your stuff back. It's like a 2D zombie, or zombie you know, so which is really cool when it comes down to it. But
it screwed me though. I told you about that.
Yeah, and I can totally see that. Yeah. But I would like at the end of the game, I was really surprised because there were a couple of now, and I'll say this too. It's a tough game.
Yeah.
There's some parts of it that are pretty stinking hard. But
the boss fights are great though.
Yes. But it's the total package. Like it's great. Metro. I'm not going to call it Metroidvania. I can't stand.
I know you. I actually say that on purpose because I know you hate it.
Path,
but it is. It's a Super Metroid clone.
It really is.
Like
it really is.
Metroid
But
clone.
I actually heard somebody on a Giant Bomb podcast call these games pathfinding games.
Yeah,
and I like that a lot better. So I'm gonna call it that. It's a pathfinding game, and it's probably one of my favorite ones. And like, if you think about the pedigree of Way Forward, that should have told people from the beginning how good this game was going to be. Yeah. But the problem with it is that people pass it up because the Mummy sucked.
Yeah. So that's, yeah, exactly. And what would be a funny topic for you guys to talk about on the podcast when you bring this up is I want to name one other situation where the game was better than the movie.
Oh gosh.
Because usually movie-based games.
Super Mario Brothers.
Okay, GoldenEye is a good. Did you say GoldenEye?
I said GoldenEye.
Yeah, GoldenEye is a good example. GoldenEye was probably better than the movie.
Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
I would honestly say, Zach, that GoldenEye as a game is way more popular than GoldenEye as a movie.
Yeah.
I think so, because that was like what, the original first-person shooter, right?
Yeah.
One of.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. Well, it was the first like real popular one on the console.
Well, maybe let me back up my statement. The first multiplayer.
Yeah. On a console.
On consoles. Yeah. Yeah. So I know there was others, but
I can't tell you the irony, Marty, of like. So when that game came out, it came out the same week as Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, I wasn't watching it. There was absolutely nothing on my radar except Odyssey.
And I got Odyssey the day it came out, and I played it, and but like at the time, Odyssey just didn't resonate with me. Like I just wasn't in the mood. Like I was not compelled to keep going back in and find more moons. And I love Mario, but it just at the time I just wasn't in that mood for that kind of game. So. Like I was playing Mummy like a couple weeks after it came out. Yeah. And I kept trying to tell everyone in the chat. I brought it up multiple times and no one's replying. I'm like, well, I'm just going to quit talking about it. So I can't tell you the irony of when I'm playing Mario Odyssey last week and finally trying to beat it. And you pop up on my screen that you're playing the Mummy. And I had started writing a review to give to you guys about the Mummy because I was so pissed y'all hadn't talked about it. And I was like halfway through a review and I'm like, well, now Marty's playing it and he's probably going to like it. So
well, and I did like it, and I would rather you review it than me, to be honest, because I think
I'm still going to do it.
Time in on it.
I'm still going to do it, but it's going to be a written thing, so it's totally different than you talking about on the podcast.
But like here's the deal, like. I downloaded it and it completely sucked me in last weekend.
Yeah.
Like I could not stop playing it until I beat it. And I don't know, like it was so unexpected. And I needed that. Like I needed a break from everything else I was playing at the time, which I've got so many games I've got to finish right now, guys. It's bad.
I totally feel your pain.
Like let me just let me throw some names out here of games I've got to finish. So just and I'm just going down through the the all software view here. Bridge Constructor Portal, Owlboy, Night in the Woods, Doom, Bayonetta, Shoe, Dragon Quest Builders, Skyrim, The Fall, Unbound Part 2, or The Fall, Part 2 Unbound, Azure Gunvolts, Azure Striker Gunvolts, 1 and 2, Stardew Valley.
Well, you can't really finish Stardew Valley technically.
I know. But just work with me here.
You're getting close to summer right now.
Oh yeah, I know. And then by the time I get ready to finish those, Donkey Kong will come out, and
Well,
and Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which I have put in 1 hour on.
Yeah, I bailed on that game.
I'm in chapter 1. I'm in chapter 1 of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I have honestly forgot what happened in the prologue.
Marty, if it makes you feel better, the only game I actually finished on my Switch is SteamWorld Dig 2. Everything else is still I haven't done.
And that's a great game. Speaking of, I got to finish SteamWorld Heist too.
We're all gonna die with a stack of games you never finished.
And here's the thing. This is where it gets really bad. I still haven't found all 120 shrines in Zelda, and I haven't touched DLC 1, but I own it. And I've downloaded it in DLC 1 and 2. And like all these people, like I see them posts like, "I'll get my Master Cycle," and I'm like, I don't even have the Tunic of the Wild yet.
Oh my god,
dude! I had the Master. I did the Master Cycle thing for I had it for 10 minutes, and I was like, well, this would be way cooler if I hadn't finished the game already.
Right.
Right. So I actually ended up deleting. I had it for 10 minutes, and then I actually deleted my Zelda file and started over. So. Just because I wanted to play it again, So
you honestly sound like my son. I walk in, there's times that I'll walk in and he'll be playing something, and I'll say, "Why are you doing that again?" We'll start my game over.
See, I know how you feel though, because I actually don't have it for the Switch. I have it on the Wii U, and seeing that with the Best Buy Gamers Club, you can get it for $35 now. I'm kind of like, I might have to get that.
Okay.
Well, I think you guys are talking me into the Mummy Demastered because I still haven't spent my $20 of eShop money, and I was kind of bouncing around between Celeste and Jackbox and a few.
It'll probably go on sale again soon, honestly. If you wanted to wait.
You think so?
I've seen it on sale 3 or 4 times. I just didn't tell any of you guys because no one replied when I talked about it. So
no, I looked up gameplay video when you first mentioned it, and it looked like something that'd be right up my alley. I didn't have the eShop credit at that time, so now that I do, I'm kind of looking at that a little more closely. Especially
really, what it comes down to is you got to ask yourself, can you see past the theme and play a game and really enjoy it?
Yeah. So have you ever done the Mummy ride at Universal California?
Nah.
I did it at the one in Florida. I actually, for my old job, I was down. I had to travel there for work, and I went to Universal literally for 8 hours 5 hours one day, and that was pretty much the only ride I did.
Is that the one where it goes forward and then goes backwards?
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it was. The
ride
cool.
is better than the movie. Talk about games better than the movie. The Mummy ride.
Well, yeah. Well,
that's based off the Brendan Fraser one, isn't it?
Yeah. The Mummy Demastered is based off the movie that came out last summer with Tom Cruise.
It doesn't have any of the actors, I think, in the. You wouldn't know.
Let me say this about the movie here. The new one, the Tom Cruise movie. It's not bad, but it's not great.
Yeah.
It was just kind of meh.
Yeah, it's pretty meh.
And the thing is I feel like they would have it would have been better if they hadn't been concentrating so much on building a universe, building a cinematic universe. I'm so tired of that that term, the cinematic universe. Not
Yeah.
everything needs a cinematic universe. Like case in point, Transformers. Oh my God, I love Transformers. But I don't want to watch any more Michael Bay walking garbage heap explosion fests. I don't. Just make them look like Optimus Prime from the 80s. Get Peter Cullen to voice it and throw some kid in there and name him Spike Witwicky, and I'm done. Like $10, I'll go watch it 15 times in the theaters. Just make him look like freaking Optimus Prime and not like
too?
I hope.
See, I've watched all the Transformers movies, liked them most of the time, but this last one, even Peter Cullen sounded like he phoned it in.
Yes. That's because he read the script and found out that all the Transformers are supposed to be Knights of the freaking Round Table.
Well, not only like the audio wasn't normalized. Like whenever, everyone else, and even all the other Transformers are talking at one level, and then Peter Cullen talks, and it's up here.
Yep.
It doesn't even fit the rest of the movie.
And look, if you've seen it, you need your money back for one. But if you've seen it, don't.
I red boxed it, so big $2.
Don't even get me started on how they did Hot Rod. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Stereotypical French accent Hot Rod. Awful.
Yeah, I didn't see it. So,
but you know what? I read this the other day that they're actually gonna reboot it. Bumblebee is going to be there.
Oh, weird. That's strange.
They're going to be
a Volkswagen again.
Bumblebee is going to be the actual last movie in like that whole thing, from what I read, and he will be a Volkswagen in that for a little bit.
For a bit, man.
But it's supposed to be a prequel to the first one, which could be good or it could really, really suck. And I'm going to bet on the second one. And am I going to red box it when it comes out? Absolutely.
I might Netflix it.
Yeah, because I still watch like the animated Transformers that come out. Like the most recent one had one of my favorite voice actors, Will Friedle, voicing Bumblebee. So that was fun. That was fun for me.
I haven't caught up on this new one, but
the new one's over. That's done.
I know. Yeah, they're gonna like. I watched the first season of it until they brought in Megatronus, but now the Transformers Prime that came before that. The CG animated one was one of the best Transformers in years.
I agree.
And so was animated. Because
animated.
Where else can you get Weird Al voicing a transforming dump truck?
Well, no, Weird Al voicing Wreck-Gar specifically was just a meta decision on its own.
Yes, it was fantastic. So many good decisions in that show. And the fact that they had the voice actor who plays SpongeBob do Starscream was fantastic. Somewhere there is a YouTube clip where they have overlaid dialogue from Patrick and SpongeBob over Starscream and Lugnut from Transformers Animated. Jesse, you need to check that out.
Oh no!
And look, y'all are getting a glimpse of how far down the Transformers rabbit hole I could go. I used to have 1,200 of them.
Oh wow!
I looked like my Transformer room looked like Zach's Nintendo room.
So what's your opinion on the GoBots?
I don't have an opinion on the GoBots.
What's a GoBot?
I remember collecting a few.
GoBots were Transformers for kids who weren't cool.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I remember.
You're right.
I remember having a few of them as a kid.
No, here's the thing.
The cartoon was horrible.
I was an only child, and my dad had a really nice job. And didn't know how to say no. And so I had almost every 80s Transformer and GoBot that was out.
Do you still have those?
Yeah, that 1,200 collection dwindled a few years ago because I sold them all.
I say I know a place that would like them.
It was time. I actually sold quite a few of them. And it was back in like 2007 when we had our first child. And we bought... We paid off some debts and we bought furniture and we bought our first, HD TV.
We get it.
Like, here's the thing. Like that's how much money I made off of them.
Yeah.
enough to buy a couch and an HDTV and still pay off credit card debt.
That's awesome.
And then the remainder of my collection, I sold to a website that resells Transformers, tfsource.com. I sold it for, I think I literally shipped them a Tupperware tub, like one of those big ones with rollers on it. Like I took it to Kinko's and I said, I want everything in this box in another box, box it up and send it off. And I made like $1,500.
You mean something like one of those?
No, it was longer than that.
Oh,
it was like, yeah. So, and I've still got a small box, but like, here's the thing. This is what got me out of it was, well, number one, I was financially destructive. Because it was like every time I went to the store, I was buying one. And number two, the movie just killed it. Like I got the cartoon toys after that, but like that first round of movie toys, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. And then by movie 3, they started dumbing the toys down. Because they were like, well, kids don't play Transformers anymore because it takes an hour to transform them. Well, yeah, because you're gluing hot garbage together. If one of the steps is literally get out Elmer's glue and go out back to your trash can and build Optimus Prime, then sure. But
go ahead.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, did you watch The Toys That Made Us on Netflix?
No, and I keep being told like
you
here's
need
the
to
thing.
watch it. Yeah,
I know. I keep I have had. You're like the 20th person who's told me, man, you need to watch this.
Even the Barbie one's good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine.
They're all really good. Yeah.
I wish they would do one of every popular toy in the 80s.
Well,
They're
they
working
only
on
did. They only did like 4 episodes for this first season, but I have a feeling they're going to do more
because like I want to see them do it on like Lego and Teddy.
That's actually
Ruxpin
coming. They already said Lego's next season.
Like I want Teddy Ruxpin, and I want like what were the ones in this one? G.I. Joe and Barbie and
Star Wars,
He-Man and Star Wars.
He-Man and Star. I need to watch that He-Man.
Star Wars.
Dude, I want to see him do one on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too. The original toy.
The He-Man one is cool too because Tom Kaczynski's in the He-Man one, and Tom Kaczynski was the president of Sega during the console wars. So yeah, and he's on the He-Man one being interviewed, which is kind of interesting. So
I sold all these. In fact, one of the ones that I sold in this last batch was I don't know how much you guys know about Transformers, but they made one.
I know a lot more now.
They made one at the end of the 80s, like when the first generation was wrapping up.
Yep.
And he was roughly the size of a toddler. Fortress Maximus.
Yes, I don't remember what you're talking about.
He was an Autobot city that turned in, or he was a robot that turned into the Autobot city and a battle station, and his head transformed into a robot whose head transformed into a robot. Right. And so
the Headmaster one.
Yeah. And so I sold that one, and it was 100% complete.
Wow.
And I got like just that one was $550.
Wow.
So yeah. And for that, crack one open.
I like the season 4 was kind of like 3 episodes and that was it.
Right.
But all around Headmasters, and I liked what they did with that.
I wish that we had gotten those. And that was the thing. The reason I got so much for mine was I had a ton of stuff that I had imported from Japan. Like, in fact, my wife and I got married in 2002. And that next year in 2003, our first like big vacation was to go to Chicago and go to the official Transformers collectors convention, which opened her eyes in a really negative way to geek fandom. Yeah. So we didn't go back after that. She typically describes it as this way. It's like, when Marty and I were dating, I knew that he collected Transformers. I just didn't know how many he collected until, oh, hey,
hi,
look at there. Fortress Maximus. That's him, but that's the new one.
Yeah, that's the new one I got from my kid for my birthday last year.
God, that thing is so awesome. And that reminds me of what I was going to say earlier, that I wanted the couple of the reasons I stopped collecting again was the price and how much I was spending, and then the like the way they were made. And like I've gotten back into them as they've like in the last couple of years as they've put out some of the more traditional old ones, new old characters redone. But I just have always found them lacking. Like they just don't hold up as well, and they just don't feel as well made as they used to be.
Yeah.
And
you look
all
at
of them are more,
something pops off now.
well, like all of them are more expensive. Like like a one, like I was looking at one the other day, like there was one that was like this little one, and I was really wanting it, and I just picked it up and I was like, I'm gonna get this, and it was $10. I was like, it's $10 and he's this tall, so I just put it back, and so I've just transferred that over to spending obscene amounts of money in the eShop.
Well, you're not getting all those free codes for
no, nobody sends me any free Transformers.
Oh, I meant for the eShop credit instead.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, it's a double-edged sword, and Jesse can probably talk about this too. It's like sometimes it's like, yay, we got a code. I really want to play this game, and then sometimes it's like,
another you don't have to play it if you get the code, technically. So unless you ask for it,
right, that's true. And but it's sometimes it's a game I'm mildly interested in that I would really like to play at some point. But it's and the reason I sigh about it is I don't have time. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So like, if you guys go and watch the video that I did of Membrane over on the YouTube channel, I was literally playing it for the very first time because I just didn't have time. I mean, we got the code in and the embargo, there was no embargo. And so we wanted to get it out before it came out. So, here's the video now. And then like Bridge Constructor, Portal, I booted it up. It's like, oh yeah, we're on level 11. All right, here we go.
Yeah. Normally when I do live streams of games like that, I normally will do them blind. Like I don't pre-play it to know what's going on.
Right.
But yeah, based on speaking of not enough time to play games, I was hoping to get more into Final Fantasy VI this month.
Me too.
Yeah, I just took my SNES Classic out of the box like 3 weeks ago. I got it for Christmas. Actually, I was just in a store today and I saw 4 of them on a shelf.
Yeah, really? I see them all the time.
I think that in larger areas, people are having trouble finding them and seeing them, but like I see them all the time.
I'm in Nashville. Yeah.
There's a Target that's near me in a town of about 50,000, I guess, and about 30 minutes away, and it's it's fine.
Yeah,
they're nowhere in the UK at all. Absolutely nowhere.
Best Buys in Austin have them stocked.
Yeah,
the one outside of Rochester here by where I work had 4 in stock, and the Target right by my house here in the city had 2 of them like last weekend.
Hey, so everywhere too. So GameStop, Target, Walmart, I see them, and I'm in Nashville. I see them all those places.
So you guys, because you're here on the Hangout, you get to see a little bit about how the sausage gets made and everything. You get to see a little behind the scenes. So I went to check and see, go and look at something on YouTube and totally realized that I had never set our video spotlight for Membrane to public instead of private.
So I haven't seen it.
That's up now, so you guys have something to watch. Oops. Totally made that video 5 days ago.
That's how many views do you have?
1. Because it was private. It was private until 5 seconds ago. So yeah,
that's funny.
This is where you guys realize I have absolutely no clue what I'm doing. I just get on. I just get on here and talk.
No, I'm kidding.
That's right. That's right. Because we don't
lived
know
down
how
in
to do
Atlanta for
nothing
10
not
years. I
down
get it.
here. You know, we don't know how to do nothing but
Don't-
shoot
Gonna be down
people
there
and
everything,
shoot
you
a
know,
backy.
the whole y'all down there just all shooting guns and having that tobacco and everything.
That's
and all
right.
that
That's
stuff.
right. That's all we do.
I'm the same way, Marty. For the podcast I do, I just let my partner handle everything. I'm just
Sunrise to sunset, Matt. That's all we do. We just shoot guns and chew tobacco and eat fried chicken. That's it.
And drink Bush beer.
Oh no, we don't
know
do that.
We don't know what shoes are.
No, can't do the
Not
Bush.
go to the NASCAR races.
Yeah.
I like the bottom.
Hey, like I said, I lived in Atlanta for 10 years. I get it.
What my wife, what I think is funny is she says, you know, the one and only time that she watched a NASCAR race was the day that Dale Earnhardt died.
I watched that race too, actually.
And she's like, so that's why I don't turn it on anymore because I just feel like I'm bad luck.
I actually went to a couple of races. I don't like it, but it's definitely an experience when you go. It's pretty crazy.
It's like the county fair. It's definitely an experience.
Well, yeah, the people watching is, but even like you can't really justify how fast those cars are going. Like I got down by the fence when they were coming down a straightaway, and I had a hat on my head, and it flew off my head and went like 7 rows up.
Wow.
So, but enough NASCAR.
Yes.
But no, that's a cool tidbit.
Let's talk about what video games we're playing or we don't have time to play.
Well,
let's talk about most overrated Switch games. How about that?
Oh no, I want to hear this.
Celeste.
Oh, who said that?
Ooh.
Who said that?
Me.
Bird.
That would be me.
Wow.
Okay, let me see. Hang on just a second. I'm looking for the way to kick you out of here. I'm an admin.
Night in the Woods. Just put that
I'm
in
just
there.
honestly I haven't played it. I'm just stirring the pot.
What's that, Dave?
Night in the Woods. Terrible game.
I'm slogging through it, but I feel the same way.
Every new day is a exercise in pain, and the ending is also not brilliant. No spoilers, but it's not worth it.
I completely agree. Like the more I play it, the more I'm wondering why I spent money on it.
Yeah, and I love the idea of it, and I understand why I got good reviews, but it's so hard to play. Oh man,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not a game; it's a story.
I have it on my wish list.
Every time a new dream sequence started, I'm like, oh no, not again.
Here's the thing: like, I would have liked to have watched that as an animation.
Right.
It probably would have been a better story that way.
Sorry, Saul,
Also,
for ruining your wish list.
Adam's gonna get pissed.
I know that I think Zach does some mental health work. I think, right?
Yeah.
It starts off as an exploration of mental health issues, and it ends up as something very different. And I think it's a real injustice to the original storyline. If it stuck with that, it would have been better as well.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. I mean, there were some definite ways that, like, and I'm not that far into it, but like I can already see some definite ways they could have gone with the story and add some layers to it. That would have been a lot better. And like I'm gonna tell you what part of it I just really, really don't like is the wannabe Guitar Hero parts.
Oh, that was my favorite part.
Oh. I'm okay at them, and I was okay at Guitar Hero, but I just I don't know.
Yeah, well, there were a couple of playable guitar parts in there which I enjoyed because I couldn't do Guitar Hero, so I could do that on the Switch because that was my saving grace, really.
Tim is continuing to taunt me with his Transformers.
Devastator parts?
Are those original Devastator parts or are those new Devastator parts?
No, these are.
Oh my gosh, that is original.
Wow.
Well, you mentioned it, so I had to break out my old box.
Well, no, I had all those guys, man. I had all
I had all of Devastator as well.
Oh, hang on. Oh, you've got the Tanuki guy.
Yeah. It's just my one box that I got to keep of some of my Transformer stuff. So you mentioned it, and I had to go and bury it.
Skywarp.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go. We're going to take a deep dive right here. This is.
Welcome to Transformers, dads.
I was going to say this is like a new podcast starting right here. We're seeing the birth of it.
Original Dinobot.
Yeah.
You know they have new ones of those out now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Garbage.
Yeah, they can combine now into a combiner, which holds together.
They do?
Yes, they do, Jesse.
Oh,
Grimlock is the middle piece, and the 4 other Dinobots are the limbs.
that's wrong.
Volcanicus is his name.
You know, Marty, I pre-purchased Dandara and have refused to open it since hearing you trash it.
I'm sorry. Look,
I didn't realize that you didn't walk in the game, and once you said that, I was like, well, I just wasted $15.
Yep.
I was like, I just don't, because I don't want to just do that.
So you guys know, I'm an uneducated idiot, according to people on Reddit, because we got raked over the coals a little bit over the weekends.
That's all right.
On a podcast thread, and basically all the criticism was leveled at me. It was like Dandara sucks, and I don't. They're like, I listen to Nintendo Dads, but I don't really want to because of terrible reviews like Dandara is not a good game or Mario's my game of the year because it's Mario. Because that's what I totally said, right, guys?
Why do people have to get so butthurt in the video game community? My gosh, let people have an opinion. Who cares?
It's the internet. If you have a different opinion, come on.
That's the problem. Is it's people who like base their opinion completely on what talking heads on the internet say.
Yeah,
and if you like a game, like a game. That's my thing.
Yep.
And
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I was talking about it to my wife earlier, and because I was just kind of bothered by it, and I was like, here's the deal. I was like, if you go back and you listen to that, what I said was Mario and Zelda are both game of the year, but Mario wins it for me because I like Mario as a franchise more than I like Zelda. I didn't say I don't like Zelda. I didn't say I don't think it's game of the year. I didn't say anything like that. I just simply said Mario is my game of the year. And that's exactly what she's like. Well, it's your game of the year. That's what you think.
It was honestly refreshing to hear somebody else talk about Zelda wasn't your game of the year and why on the podcast.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I still like, I love that game and I love Zelda, but you've heard me say it, I'm not finished with it because at times I'm overwhelmed by it. And I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a normal thing or not, but open world games overwhelm me. It's almost like sensory overload.
Yeah, they're my favorite games.
Zelda keeps drawing me back in, and I can't even finish Mario because Mario, I feel like I'm just collecting Korok seeds.
That's exactly how I felt with Mario.
I'll come back to Zelda, and that's on my agenda this weekend. Actually, I've got some time, and so I'm like, I'm going to go. I have 4 shrines left in the original 120, and I'm going to find them. It's this weekend.
If you get the DLC, you will find it.
I only did one Divine Beast.
I also find Zelda overwhelming at times. It's one of my favorite games ever, but anytime I feel overwhelmed by it, Mario is actually the game I go to unwind for a little bit before heading back. They're both great.
Yeah, at least getting 500 moons has meaning in Odyssey, where
that's true.
In Zelda, beyond 300, the seeds have no meaning.
Zelda,
until you get 900.
But I understand what the point is because in Mario it feels like, I mean, in Zelda, you can go collect the Korok seeds if you want, but there's also 50 other things you can go do if you want. And when in Mario, it kind of feels like you're just looking for moons. So I understand what he was saying.
And here's the thing: I've finished the quest in Zelda. I finished the game. I beat Ganon. I did that. No. I mean, I did that, and I did that before I got all the memories. And so now I found out that I needed the memories. So now what I'm doing is I'm going back and I'm getting everything.
See, my whole thing was I would not go face Ganon until I found all the shrines and all the memories.
Yeah, you got to get all the memories.
But that's just me. So
I see.
Those are the 2 main things you should.
Well, here's why I finished it. Just full disclosure, to be honest, we were about to talk about that. Yeah. And I didn't want to be that guy who's like, well, I haven't finished it yet. That's kind of like the thing. I have to go and I have to see it. It's like seeing a Marvel movie on opening weekend so I can talk about it with my friends.
But what you said though is, I mean, it's such a good point. It's I hate award shows are kind of meaningless because for the exact reason you said, I mean, is because who cares? I mean, Mario resonated with you more, and that's totally
Right.
cool. And you don't really like open world games. I love open world games. So like this year, Zelda and Horizon Zero Dawn were like by far my favorite games.
I'm working my way through Horizon Zero Dawn now. I just started. I actually hadn't played it because I'd been playing Zelda and I wanted to finish out.
I need to go back and play it because when I played, I rented Horizon Zero Dawn from Redbox, which I know is dumb because like I'm not even going to be able to have time with it or whatever. But I actually ended up paying
$3 a day.
Yeah, I kept it for 3 days because I fell in love with it. But like that game and Zelda in the last year like taught me that open world games can be good.
Yeah,
you know, because like my original exposure to it had been like a little bit of Fallout 4, which I mean, like I liked Fallout 4, but like here's what it boils down to is the amount of choices is simply overwhelming, and I feel like I'm doing something wrong, and I don't want to play it wrong. I want to play it right because I want to win, because I'm competitive, and I want to do it right, and I want to have that experience. Now, when I was a kid, I didn't feel like that, but because like I would go and I would like barely scrape by JRPGs. Like I can tell you to this day, I beat Earthbound when I was a teenager, and I had no clue how I did it because like at the end of the game, I was like at the end of the game, like I was so severely underpowered, I was just running from enemies constantly just to get to the end of the game, and that like that whole I've got to finish. So there's like just this whole idea of all these choices, like even in Skyrim, like, oh my gosh, I can be all of this. And I don't even know, do I be a human? Do I be a cat? Do I be a lizard person? I mean, I don't know. And it just shorts my brain out.
The answer is always cat. That is the right answer.
and I think what it comes back to, and something I'm learning about myself, and here comes psychology dads. Something I'm learning about myself is that
without Dr. Erickson.
Yeah, and I wish he was here because he could probably talk about this and diagnose me. Part of the problem, I think the biggest part of the problem that I'm learning about myself is that I suffer from anxiety.
Yeah,
and
I've learned that recently too about me.
And like looking back at it now, like it's on my mom's side of the family, it's on my dad's side of the family. My son has it. He has been diagnosed with anxiety. I am the only one who has not been diagnosed. And that's, I'm getting ready to go see somebody about that because it feeds into everything I do. It's not just, it's like, it's not just my job. It's not just my family. It's everything I do. And I'm seeing how how it affects everything, even like playing video games, which is crazy. Like it's crazy how deep it goes.
Well, Skyrim's a little bit different monster too, because Skyrim's kind of built for you to play multiple times and take different paths each time you play it, so.
Yeah. Like I think I'm just going to have to tell myself to just get over it. Just get over it and play.
Yeah. So it's, I get what you're saying, and overworld games can definitely be overwhelming, but the thing I'll say about Zelda is that Zelda's kind of set a new standard. Like, I played Horizon before Zelda, but I'll be honest, like as much as I loved Horizon and the story's amazing, it's been really hard for me to go back and play the DLC because like, I'm like, oh, I want to climb up this mountain and you can't.
Yeah, I'm playing Horizon it's frustrating. Now. I'm finding exact difficulty. I've spent an entire game where I can climb absolutely anything.
Yeah.
And now I'm playing Horizon where the story is fantastic. Visually,
the story is great. It has a great payoff.
I just want to climb this and I can't. Why can't I do? Oh yeah, I'm not Zelda. That's right.
Yeah, Skyrim. Part of what I found with it too is like even in the early parts of the game, and you're probably going to be like, I don't know how you didn't see this, but there's a part early in the game where you have to go up the mountain and you have to like get your first part of your shout, or whatever.
Yeah.
And the path to get where you're going,
it's hard. Yeah. It took me a while too. The first time
not like, at least with Zelda, like I knew kind of where I was going.
I run into that a lot in Skyrim where I can't find, especially trying to go up a mountain, finding the path is really difficult.
Yeah, like so.
Right now, I'm playing Skyrim, and I cannot figure out how to not be a vampire.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's a
crazy.
So there's a mission. You have to. I don't remember who you talk to, but there's.
I might just wiki it because I'm trying to not, but
there's a person you can go see that has a cure.
Yeah.
So you
can buy a cure.
Yeah.
Because like early on like that very first mountain, you know, on that mission, I got turned into a vampire, and I didn't even know it. You know, like it just like all of a sudden it came up on the screen. You suddenly have a thirst for blood. I was like, oh, really? Like, how did that happen? Like, that's not normal. And then, you know, like I just happened to be looking through some menus, like, you know, and it was like vampirism, and I was like, no, I'm not a vampire. I'm not. And so apparently what happened was I was in this cave fighting vampires, and one of them scratched me or something, and you start turning into a vampire. Thanks, game, for telling me that, you know, I'm about to be a vampire.
That's why I use a bow and arrow and take them out from afar.
But I'm terrible at that.
Yeah,
that's not what my character is. I am pumping every bit of resources toward two-handed weapon wielding because I just want to be able to go in and smash somebody in the face.
See,
if I play D&D or I play any kind of role-playing game at all, I am the barbarian. I am the tank. I want to go in and beat somebody's face off with a mace. That, like, literally the last time I played D&D, I played an anthropomorphic bear named the Barbarian.
Nice.
Who carried a mace and basically was the guy who walked in front of everybody and destroyed people.
Oh. See, I'm the complete opposite. I like my stealth and I like my bow and arrow. I've actually recently I started Skyrim again, but I've got a VR headset, so I've been playing it in VR.
Oh, that's
really cool.
I bet it is.
I'm on the third spectrum of that. I almost always go magic. I'm a conjurer on my first run through.
I'm playing as a vampire.
Are you straight to Winterhold then?
Zach's like, I don't care about being a vampire. Yeah. Bring it on.
I'm playing as a vampire on purpose. I'm doing all that whole mission. So
that's cool.
When you're a vampire, do you have like negative faction against citizens and towns or something like that? Or
they'll say stuff to you like, "Oh, your skin looks a little pale there, buddy," and stuff like that. But like there's a certain faction called the Dawn Guard who will come after you because they're vampire hunters. But other than that, like...
But you can still shop and all that stuff.
Yeah, you can still shop. And all that.
I noticed I was a vampire because my health was decreasing.
Well, yeah, when you're out in the sun, your health and your stamina and your magic won't regenerate automatically if you're a vampire.
Well,
yeah. But you don't sparkle or glitter or whatever like in that Twilight.
Yeah.
Those aren't real vampires.
That's literally my only reason for being a vampire. You destroyed it.
Oh, on that note,
we're probably going to.
You guys have a podcast to go do.
Yeah. So, guys, this has been awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us.
I did like the bottom third battles between the two of you. That was amusing.
Well, notice that mine never changed because it didn't have to.
Well, it changed once.
Well, I know, but now it doesn't have to change anymore because he's been wrong the entire time.
I actually tried changing my tagline to enjoying the bottom third battles, but it wouldn't change.
Mega Man X and Zero are kind of like the 80s butt rock version of Mega Man, and that's why I hate them. There I said it,
version?
and we're gonna end on that.
Yeah. I feel like I missed something before joining the conversation.
Well, Brian's little tagline down there said Mega Man X is the best Mega Man. Sorry, not sorry, or I'm not sorry. And so I changed mine to Brian Scott is horribly wrong. To which he changed his to let's see here. What I can't get it to come up. What's it say there? Zero is even better than OG Mega Man.
He has to talk for it to come up.
And so
there it is. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Call me when they're doing a new Mega Man X game.
I forced to present to everyone so now everyone can see it, even if he's not talking.
All right, you guys go do a podcast. I'm out. Most overrated Switch game is Splatoon 2. See y'all later.
I love it. He drops the bomb and leaves. It's fantastic. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We're going to go and set up and record a podcast. We'll see you on the other side.
I've got to go to do my baker job, I suppose. See you later.
All right. See ya.
Hey, have a good one.